awards begin now. The first award of the evening goes to Deepthi Bopaya, Sports Administrator, for driving systemic change in sport. May we have the visual, please?
Deepthi Bopaya, Board Member, Go Sports Foundation. Conductor, Chisel, a metronome to the pulse of gold, a financier's precision, an athlete's cadence, a conjurer of opportunity from the cacophony of system, translates talent into trajectory, medals into movement, a fiduciary of ambition, dispensing patronage not from armchair order, but the trench work of spreadsheets and briefings. Odds tallied not in probability, but the intangibles of grit, family, the last bus to Kodagu. The New Indian Express honors Deepthi Bopaya, Devi of Podium. If sport be the opiate of the indolent, then she is its most heretical pharmacist, prescribing meritocracy in slow, defiant doses.
Come on, louder. Yes. I like that she's wearing a Kodawa sari as well. Deepthi, just a quick question.
Yes.
What is working with people who are disabled mentally or physically or challenged? What has that taught you?
First of all, thank you, New Indian Express. It's an honor to be here. For us, when you think about sport, every 4 years we kind of wake up when the Olympics starts, when the broadcast starts playing 2 weeks before, and we're like, oh, the Olympics is coming, and then we forget what happens after that. And every time after the Olympics, we wonder why we have only single-digit medals. And I think that's what we've really tried to attempt to do. So in the last 17 years, we worked with both able-bodied athletes and para-athletes. And I think our biggest learning and lesson has been that first, I think the language and narrative of how we address people with disability has to change. Sorry, I always do that.
No, it's right.
It is people with disability, people with special needs, people, and then what it is. So I think when you look at world sport, you're competing with over 10,000 athletes. Only 10,000 athletes make it to the Olympics and Paralympics. And the Paralympics is the parallel of the Olympics, which happens at the same place, same time, 3 weeks later. So I think as India, just to give you some numbers, in 2016, India sent 19 athletes to the Paralympics. In Paris, we actually sent 84 athletes, and we came back with 28 medals. And we have the cricketers here. Cricket is also in the Olympics now from 2028. So I think we're going to see a lot more things. So my only learning, coming back to your question, is we must remember, and Chris also spoke about the elderly. When we talk about disability, we think this might never happen to us. But many of the athletes we've had the chance to work with have either been born with a disability, or there's a medical negligence that happens, or there is an accident. And so we should always ensure that and there are lots of leaders in this room, any sort of process planning that we do has to be thought with what if this happens, and not when it happens. So I think that's been my biggest learning, and all they want to be treated is like you and me. So that's my biggest learning. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you for schooling me. I stand corrected. No, that's fine. The second award of the evening goes to Anita Nair, author, for writing brilliantly across genres. May we have the AV, please?
Nair, author. Fiction becomes reportage when truth refuses disguise. In Bengaluru, her palimpsest, rendered in both asphalt and ink, she listens to the slow architecture of sorrow, writes the city as both autopsy and lullaby. Her pen dissecting the ordinary confronts the quotidian brutality we normalize. Choices rehearsed too often. The New Indian Express honors Anita Nair, Devi of observation. Silence is argument, empathy is method. In the chiaroscuro of her prose, as mentor, translator, and curator of voices, she asks the only question that matters: what survives and how must we see it anew?
Oh, Anita, you have a lot of fans in the room. Anita, I know you don't like to be asked questions, but I'll still ask. How is reading going to compete with scrolling in this new world?
So first and foremost, thank you for honoring me with this award, and I'm delighted to be standing here. So this is a question that keeps popping up all
Yeah.
the time, and I think that everything is a certain kind of trend, and after a while we're going to tire of scrolling, and we are going to realize at some point that scrolling actually gives us the attention span of a goldfish. So we have to at some point take charge. And I do believe that when the writing changes with the times that we're living in, and I'm not talking about using ChatGPT to write books,
Yeah.
but
Which is being done, by the way.
yeah, it is being done, I know, in fact.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I would think that, writing is going to have to change to speak to the newer generations. And with that, probably scrolling will, I won't say stop, but it would definitely reduce.
And you're the perfect person to write more.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. The third Devi of the evening is Chaya Nanjappa, founder Nectar Fresh, for making business serve a social purpose. May we have the AV, please?
Chaya Nanjappa, founder MD, Nectar Fresh, reverse engineering an empire. In the dusk between individual and institution, she plants opportunity besides orchids. Business or reparative justice, she declines the dichotomy, dislodging foreign dominion with mutinous quality, honey as manifesto, jam as referendum. Portion-defined recipes for trust, distilled from failure, every ounce of self-doubt pawned at the bank. The New Indian Express honors Chaya Nanjappa, Devi of Nectar, countering the orthodoxy of bottom lines with an insurgency of care. The calculus of her enterprise never mere profit, with each bottle a dividend to those consigned to India's silent margin.
Chaya, you've been working in this field now how many years? Over 3 decades? 2 decades. And did you ever imagine you would get to a point where you'd see Nectar Fresh stocked everywhere?
I didn't get you.
that you would see Nectar Fresh stocked everywhere, that it would
Yes, I could
be in
never.
stores everywhere.
Yes, actually replacing foreign brands in India's
Yeah.
high-end market when my team is undereducated. Well, it's a big moment. And now, as we actually have our products in Walmart, both in US and Canada, it's a big,
Well
big
done,
step.
Well done. Even with tariffs?
It was indeed a very big challenge because one is that women from rural India find it even more harder to get that, be it recognition or capitalize on the schemes or subsidies. So you need to work even with the marketing aspect, logistics. So I think nothing is impossible. Today, as we get into 34 products and support more than 4,000 tribals and small farmers, I feel it's a big moment for us.
Oh, yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you.
The next Devi of the evening is Pragati Mathur, a particular favorite of mine. I think her work is so tremendous. Textile artist for weaving absolute magic. May we have the AV, please?
Pragati Mathur, textile artist, teasing from the mundane a motif, from the discarded design. In the warp and weft of her design, papyrus deserts and botanical abundance. Where others see fabric, she perceives the sedimented memory of energy sites and shifting sands. She stands at the loom's perimeter, her hands conspirators with nature, martial jute and metal, flax and memory, summoning textures that bewilder machinery. The New Indian Express honors Pragati Mathur, Devi of Metamorphosis, threading yesterday's legacy into tomorrow's tapestry, narratives reloomed and respun, converging in a chromatic dialectic that is homage and heresy.
Lots of fans. So Pragati is wearing something she wove herself. But what is interesting is that she's more or less stopped weaving cloth. And she's doing what, metal, what, all sorts of material, right?
Thank you, Kaveri, for having me. Thank you, New Indian Express, for this honor. I'm overwhelmed. Didn't see it coming. It's my first and so much more special. Thank you so much. To answer your question, I started out with weaving saris, unstructured garments, shawls, and yes, this is one of my own. I've always innovated. I'm now known as an experimental artist, experimental weaver. Mental is key here because I'm a bit mad and a little crazy. I weave with
Don't say that, Deepthi will school us again. She'll say mental, you can't use that word.
You're right. No, but you know, and I weave with just about anything I can lay my hands on. I've moved from weaving textiles now to art, and I weave with metal. And one of my installations actually is at the new Terminal 2.
Yeah.
It's called Navraspur. I would love for everybody to see it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
lovely.
But thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The next award of the evening goes to Divya Rao, co-founder the Rameshwaram Cafe. I hope it has fans here too. Yes, it does. For serving authentic and hygienic food. May we have the AV, please?
Divya Rao, co-founder, the Rameshwaram Cafe. Pure key, pure intent, pure arithmetic. From the murmuring of ferment, the alchemy of leaven, a model as fractal and fractious as the city's traffic, a franchise of faith, a diaspora of standards, an open kitchen where integrity sizzles alongside the dosa, persists beyond the ephemeral confetti of viral acclaim, reconciling the elasticity of scale with the inflexibility of principle. The New Indian Express honors Divya Rao, Devi of expansion. Into the ledger's lacunae, she pours her liturgy, key, her signature, and solvency song, signing checks with the same hand that steadies the cradle.
Divya, how did an IIM Ahmedabad graduate get into the food business? The business I understand, but the food I wonder.
Usually they say there's behind every successful man there is woman. But I would like to honestly say behind my success there is a man who is also here,
Yeah.
who is
Could
my
you please
husband,
stand up?
Mr. Raghav. Raghav is here.
Yeah.
So from IIM to restaurant, he is the reason for me to, he is the reason to pull me from IIM to this business. Everything is for good, yes.
Yeah. So, do you ever have to cook or do you just order in?
No, we cook at home.
Oh, you do?
We cook our food
What's
at
the
home.
point of running such a huge franchise? I would never cook at home if I had that
No,
privilege.
we come from a very traditional family, so we are used to cooking at home. So though we have restaurant, we never, get anything from restaurant. We cook our food at home. So we also carry our food when we go out. It's like that.
Really?
Yeah,
So you never eat at your own restaurant?
we have eaten. I mean to say,
Thank God.
like,
People will wonder otherwise.
no.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Our next Devi of the evening is Sahar Mansoor, founder Bare Necessities, for helping people live a zero waste life. I think she's also the youngest among all of us here, I think. Could we have the AV, please?
Seher Mansoor, founder and CEO of Bare Necessities, a stream cutting through stone, rejecting the anemic heroism of armchair eco-angst. She defies capitalism's impulse, stands unflinching at the fault line, interrogating its residue. The revelation prosaic yet profound, we inhabit an era of disposability, 5-minute conveniences that cast shadows 7 centuries long. The New Indian Express honors Seher Mansoor, Devi of sufficiency. Her lineage is neither boast nor burden, vocation neither accident nor ancestry. She recalibrates the axis of aspiration to reimagine, to repair, to return the trajectory of waste to a circle. The bare minimum, the bare necessities.
Nice, that's more like it. Good. So, Sahar, what does a zero waste life really mean? I mean, how do you live a zero waste life? Sounds very tough.
Hi everyone, it's so lovely to be here this evening. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's so nice to see so many familiar faces in the room and so many new Devis to get to know even better. I think for me it's all about, at Bare Necessity, it's about reimagining how we live and how can we kind of reimagine this disposable culture to one that's more circular, more sustainable, and how do we build businesses beyond just a profit lens. So at Bare Necessities, we're India's first B Corp certified business in India to create FMCG products that are designed not to land up as waste on the waste sides of our city. So we really care about people, planet, and profit. And while the idea of living a zero waste lifestyle is really to how do we reduce our footprint to as little as possible, and how we can all live a little lighter on this planet.
Yeah, and I think this is something that actually women through the centuries in India have done, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We've
I think
just forgotten how to do it.
for sure. I think our grandmothers were the OG zero wasters, the originals, from reimagining saris to pillow covers and, being always really mindful about our footprint, whether that's, the ash from use back to washing your dishes,
Yeah.
etc. So I think being sustainable is actually in our Indian DNA. We're just trying to rediscover it.
Thank you. More power to you. Thank you so much. The next winner of the evening is also a favorite of mine, Shraddha Srinath, actor, for excellence in her performances. May we have the AV, please?
Shraddha Srinath, actress, from the jurisprudence of the law to the jurisprudence of feeling. Unwilling to be mapped by the cartels of genre, the orthodoxy of language she prefers, the subtler violence of self-recognition. What began in the rigor of statutes found its sequel in cinema, mining the seams between strength and shatter, a tremor at the corner of the mouth, a fissure running beneath the maquillage. The New Indian Express honors Shraddha Srinath, Devi of Nuance. She leaves each role holding a fragment of herself, the audience drawn not by melodrama but the precision of fracture.
Shraddha, you recently had a huge hit on your hands, the Netflix series Game, and it was entirely, it was led by you, which is quite rare. How has that changed things for you?
Hi, Kaveri.
We're meeting after 4 years.
We're meeting after 4 years, that's right. It's like a sense of deja vu
Yeah.
I'm getting. Thank you to the New Indian Express. Thank you to these wonderful ladies that I've met today. And I really feel it's so inspired. I realize there's so many things we don't know. We are so caught up in our lives. And there's so many of you doing God's work, honestly. And I really must congratulate all of you. And it's an honor to be here, sitting on the same, standing on the same stage as all of you. Kaveri, yes, it was interesting to lead a web series. This was my first web series, and as the female protagonist, as a show of the face. It was an interesting experiment. It worked out great for me. It also, because the show did really well, I think it also sort of, there was a sudden sense of credibility that, I could pull off a show of my own, attract new audiences, and the show is a hit. So it was nice. It kind of, I do give myself a pat on my back once in a while. This was one of those times. Yeah.
So have you got a lot of offers since then for more web series, because success breeds success?
There has been an uptick in the number of offers for web series. I don't view, my profession as, okay, movies or web series or theater anymore. It's just for me a medium to perform in. So, but yes, to answer your question, there has been.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The legal profession's loss is, entertainment's gain. So thank you.
Thanks, Kavi.
The next Devi of the evening is Nooreen Fazal, founder in Venture Academy, for her work in quality education. May we have the video, please?
Nooreen Fazal, founder in Venture Academy, asking not what a child knows, but what a child dares. A contrarian by conviction, defected from the certitudes of global enterprise for the anarchic plurality of Indian education. Traded stock indices for the erratic algebra of adolescent ambition in a nation besotted with rote the anesthesia of standardization, she, the statistical aberration, standing in the crosshairs of reform. The New Indian Express honors Nooreen Fazal, Devi of Inventure, teaching each child to ask not what is permitted, but what is possible. A curriculum worth learning is one that never concludes.
So I've been following what Nooreen has been writing recently. She's got very agitated about, and for a good cause. According to research that was done, I think at your instance, Bangalore children lose 3 hours of their lives every day in traffic jams. Hours that they could spend playing, doing anything, just hanging out, you know. So that's really quite a tragedy. How do we fix this?
Okay, any politicians here?
They'll have to leave the room.
I got a message. Say that again. There you go. Hello. I'm told I'm not so popular when I met our chief guest today, but mind you, he didn't tell me that I'm not popular. But I went up and introduced myself, and he said, I see your WhatsApps very often. And I happened to kind of let loose a few WhatsApps today because there's a bureaucrat who said that the people who are raising concerns about Bangalore's traffic and broken infrastructure are trying to run down Bangalore. I was like, why would we do that? We are people who've chosen to make Bangalore our home, or we're born here, or both. And we have contributed our lives to the growth of the city. So yes, I did, or rather in Venture Academy, did some research to understand the impact of Bangalore's lack of planning and misgovernance on our children. And what we found was that children are spending 3 to 4 hours a day on the road. And this compounds the 2 years that we lost due to the pandemic. So as you said, yes, they could just be hanging out, they could be at school, they could be at after school, they could just be. But instead, they're on roads. So I sincerely hope that we'll do more justice. As you said, sir, we have tremendous challenges and we have tremendous opportunities. And India's demographic, we are the youngest population in the world. We have the largest school-going children in the world. We have the largest working population in the world. This can be India's century. This can be humanity's century. We need to fix our roads, and yes, we need to fix our education to ensure that's an enabler. And not just an enabler, actually. Education is life.
Right. You also focus a lot on sports, right, at the academy. Talk a little about that.
Sports was the reason I went to school.
What did you...
And actually, this is the first time I've ever been on the front row, by the way. I was always a backbencher if I made it to class. Sports for me was literally everything. It was like oxygen. I went to school and college at a time where we sat like this, about 100 in a class, and a teacher came up and just kind of called out notes, and we were expected to memorize it. So what I preferred to do was to maximize learning outside the classroom. So I played pretty much every sport. I actually represented Karnataka for both cricket and basketball.
Oh, wow.
And played 6 sports at the college level. And what I learned from sport was to set goals, to work towards them, to handle success and failure in life, teamwork, resilience, leadership. I could just go on. And I think every person should be out there playing some sport, fit for life, if not representing your country at cricket or a sport of your choice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And not stuck in traffic. Thank you so much. The next Devi of the evening is Veda Krishnamurthy, cricketer, broadcaster, former member, Team India, for her contribution to sport. May we have the audiovisual, please?
Veda Krishnamurthy, cricketer, a kinetic iconoclast rehearsing defiance on ochre dust, loss that is personal, unfathomable, cataclysmic, carves its inscription in the musculature of resolve. Yet she returns perennial to the pitch's amphitheatre, from Chikmagaluru's parochial quietude to stadiums awash in sodium light. Her trajectory rebukes the doctrine of boundaries. The New Indian Express honors Veda Krishnamurthy, Devi of the Pavilion. Today, she refracts the game's old light, crease to chronicle, lexicon unrestricted to willow and turf. In every post-match autopsy of triumph or tremor, the epic within the episodic, an exile from certainty, a citizen of the interval.
Louder. So Veda, what can you tell us about Team India that we don't know? We saw their amazing camaraderie. I think that was what was extraordinary about it. But is it the same in the dressing room? They're so bonded.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. Thank you, New Indian Express, for honoring me with this award. And I'm extremely happy that I'm sharing the stage with all you wonderful Devis. Congratulations to you guys as well. Talking about Indian team, I think this World Cup is a watershed moment where there's been cricket happening from 1970s, and the first ICC trophy has come home, and it's happened in India. I think that is something which makes all of us proud. And talking about how the Indian team is, exactly how you saw them after the victory. I think humble, down to earth, recognizing and respecting each of them who were part of the team earlier, and the tribute that they did later on with the victory lap and taking the World Cup to all the former cricketers, former captains. I think that kind of shows the character of the team. And there was a lot of questions even during the World Cup. A lot of people trolling as such, saying that women belong to kitchen, cricket shouldn't be played by women and all of that stuff. I think the answer's been given. And hopefully from here onwards, nobody will come up with that question saying that cricket isn't a sport for only men. It's everyone's game and women are equally good in it.
And you're all great dancers. What is it about you, all your dance moves?
I think it's just being women, isn't it? Like, we move well, and that is something, you can see, you express well. That is also comes as a part of being a woman. You know what to do, and dance just comes as a part of it.
Thank you. I'm not going to ask you to display some dance moves, although it would be nice.
As long as you're doing with me, I don't mind.
I'm way too old, but thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
The next award of the evening goes to Mayura Balasubramaniam, founder, Crafterson Foundation, for making craft a tool for empowerment. May we have the video, please?
Mayura Balasubramanian, founder, Crafterson Foundation, inventing value where once there was only residue. Behold the petalless alchemists of ornament, recycled patterns, a riposte to obsolescence, every new material, an apostrophe to possibility, a gentle coup staged in the looms of the everyday, repurposing ephemera into heritage, calendared marigolds and saris long widowed, urban refuse and the detritus of industrial afterthought re-emerge as talisman and tender. The New Indian Express honors Mayura Balasubramanian, Devi of Transmutation. While others cheer the epilogue of artisanship, she drafts prologues dispersed, recursive, and untidy, crafting, amid entropy, the blueprints of belonging.
Thank you. Mayura, what's the one craft that you're really proud to have either revived or to have sort of expanded?
Well, firstly, thank you so much to the New Indian Express to share this award with just so many visionaries and luminaries. It's, really humbling. I have to say that the Indian craft and handloom heritage is something China can't copy from us. It's something AI can't imagine.
Yes.
And and it's something 3D printers can't replicate, So I feel we are actually very future resilient and future ready, okay? And when it comes to crafts, I mean, every district in India has multiple crafts, right? The beauty is just, unfathomable. And it'll take multiple lifetimes to really appreciate the beauty of, I think, every, craft and weave. One particularly, I think, special project for us was a village called Cheryal in Telangana. There are only 7 master artisan families left in that craft, and we've set up a livelihood center in the village and trained 30 women. It's got a GI tag, so you can only do the craft in the location it's from. And today, yes, we're reviving this craft, and our women are, earning monthly by making, these beautiful products from tamarind seed and sawdust. It's a really unusual craft, and you just have to see the beauty and craftsmanship, and it's all natural, right? So it's biodegradable, it's eco-friendly, so that's really special.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. You've all been very patient. We're at the last award of the evening. Hema Ravichandar, management professional for her management of crises, and someone whom I think everyone here knows very well. May we have the AV, please?
Hema Ravichandar, management professional, to teach, to listen, to admit when tradition no longer serves. She wrote no code, yet orchestrated the algorithm. 10,000 variables looped through the circuitry of human ambition, an engineer of scale, a champion of continuance. Her fingerprints indelible, discreet in systems that outlast the founder's shadow. Her ledger of achievement carried in the title of others, in the spread of competence through a body corporate. The New Indian Express honors Hema Ravichandar, Devi of Stewardship, made process a matter of welcome, metrics a vocabulary for care, naming bias when it showed, even in the glare of consensus.
promise we didn't rig this, but Chris is Hema's former boss. But it was purely an accident or coincidence. Hema, what's the one piece of advice Chris gave you which you remember or which has lasted you well?
It was so special when I got your WhatsApp to say that I have been selected for the Devi Awards, because Devi for me is very personal. She embodies everything I look forward to in my larger life, if I may say so. Ichha Shakti, ambition, Jnana Shakti, knowledge, and Kriya Shakti, which is the ability to act. And all of these Devis truly reflect that. When I went into work every day in my executive career, and I've had, my gray hair shows many decades of executive career, Chris embodied not just the technology that he represented, but the empathy he talked about, which women demonstrate. But as a man, as Ardhanarishwar, he truly demonstrated that. And also, I think, in a very, very nuanced way, sartorial elegance, which we all looked up to, of Chris. But I think humankind is resilient. Organizations are resilient. The future is very positive. And in work like he does, which really becomes not just India class, but world class, India shows its human resilience. So for me, getting this award in Bangalore, in front of him, in front of my husband, who was my first mentor and became my lifelong mentor, and my two children, who never let me fall into the guilt trap, even when I was straddling both my career and my home. It's very, very special.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Kaveri.
you.
Thank you,
So
New
much.
Indian Express.
May I now request Lakshmi Menon, our CEO, to come and deliver the vote of thanks. Don't go anywhere, please. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we come to the end of this very inspiring evening, on behalf of the New Indian Express, our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Krish Gopalakrishnan for so readily accepting our invitation and joining us this evening. Sir, your encouraging words, your enlightening discussion, and your gracious presence has added to the stature of this evening, which is of celebrating women who are reshaping our world with their courage and commitment. A warm thank you to our presenting partner, Radico Khaitan, power partner, Bangalore Electricity Supply Company, platinum partner, Kaveri Hospitals, gold partner, Karnataka Milk Federation, and Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board, and our associate partner, India Circus, for their continued support of the Devi Awards. A big thank you to our wonderful Devis who have inspired us tonight with their incredible stories. You are the reason that this platform exists. Your journeys remind us that empowerment is not just an event, it is a continuing movement. To our audience, thank you for your presence, warmth, and encouragement, and of course, your applause. Your faith in this initiative allows us to spotlight extraordinary women across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us this evening. May we continue to honor and celebrate and emulate women who make a difference every single day. And may the Devi within each one of us continue to shine. Thank you.
Great. So it's the final moment. May I now request all the Devis to come to the stage with their trophies. And we'll do a nice photo op, which I hope you'll remember and keep. May I also request Neha, Shantana, Lakshmi, you're here. And Mr. Santhalia and Mrs. Santhalia, would you like to come on stage? Mrs. Santhalia, would you like to join the photo op? Thank you. And our resident editor, who's always hiding somewhere, Nirad Mudur, if you could come on stage. Yes, always working. Are the photographers satisfied?